All right, here we are on our Monday call, first Monday of October, and it's with Sarah Renee. And I am so excited to introduce you all to her. And if you haven't listened to her on my podcast, I do not know what the episode is, but it is a couple years back. And she is going to be a guest on the November 3rd retreat here in San Diego because she is local. And I'm so grateful. And, when you meet somebody, and she obviously, I met her on Instagram and she caught my attention and I was like, followed her and then asked her to be on my show then. And I've come a long way since then. I know we all have come a long way since then. And I wanted her to come here and just like do what she does because I think that, she's even evolved from she's even telling me like she's opened up so many more things. So I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be so fun to share your magic, Sarah Renee, with everybody. So bring it on.
Yay. Well, thank you so much for inviting me and welcoming me into your community, first of all. And it is super fun to get to just reconnect with you to see how far you've come. And like you said, like my work, I feel like has evolved so much, as well. And just for everyone to know, like I'm a spiritual medium, and then I say spiritual transformation coach. I go back and forth. I feel like my Instagram has changed like 20 times the last 3 years of like coach, guide, advisor, you know. Um, but I specialize in bringing through people's loved ones from the other side. And so that's been like the main part of my work and my business. And then I also lead classes. Like I have Goddess Code coming up or celestial codes. So one of my new abilities that opened up was this ability to channel, kind of Bashar style, in the sense of channeling these councils of light, like the Pleiadians. I mostly channel the Syrian Council of Light from the Sirius star system, and that's been really cool to just like it's newer like this year where it's gotten more consistent, and I've gotten, been getting better at it and learning how to run that energy through, really consistently without getting so drained. So that's kind of been my personal growth. And I still do readings. Um, but it also seems to be, it's just fascinating with these times that we're in because I feel like so much is like coming full circle. I don't know if you all feel that, but like when I first started out, I was doing energy healing sessions. Then I switched into just mediumship, then the channeling, right? And now I'm finding in workshops, it's like there's channeling, there's energy work, there's messages from loved ones. Like it's like everybody needs all the things now all at once. We're not as compartmentalized. It's like we've all just come up to this level where we can actually like experience it all at the same time. Yeah, like a buffet style. Totally. So it's been really fun to see how bringing those different modalities, if you will, together just like really takes the energy and takes the results to another level. And when I had like mentally, right, like I'm like, okay, well, at the retreat, I'm gonna do like, spirit team and meet your guides. And so I was gonna kind of like touch on that. But then when I was meditating on tonight for you all, it felt like very clear, like spirit was like, no, like soul conversations, higher self connection, and like moving through the energy that really came up and purged, for this eclipse. And so I wanted to just even ask you if anybody's been having like themes around relationships coming up, or like all the relationship stuff, family stuff. Like I feel like it's been I've been seeing like almost like core wounds coming up, like people pleasing or codependency, where it's like this really big opportunity to shift those dynamics in relationships, and like whether it's endings or even just recalibrating a dynamic like in your family and like holding more boundaries or speaking your truth or like um thinking like what Kate was saying, like sharing things that you're doing and then realizing that there's a little more judgment than you thought existed there. And how do we be more of ourselves in our relationships and to really start to heal and transmute that judgment into more curiosity or um more learning or discernment or whatever that would look like, depending on the situation. So yeah, so relationship stuff is that you could just give me like yeah, nay. I just want to know because I could kind of like tailor it. We didn't tailor it, but that was coming in. So I'm like I'm trusting them, but I always like
I
to
want Wendy to share. Wendy and I had a conversation today, and that was what was coming through, was like, okay, Wendy, it's
Well,
on
yes.
you.
Yes, I would definitely say full on relationships. I mean, it always is a thing, but then the last couple weeks it's been way more intense. I just have a big issue with like boundaries with my father, like, and I work with him and stuff. So like I've been trying to set up better boundaries, but he doesn't really like that, and it's been very challenging. And then I don't know, do you want me to say what call I had today? Is that what you want me, should I share that?
Yeah, I mean, I want you to, because we talked, and I feel like when she was bringing that up, I was like, oh my gosh, you need just ask, just yeah, whatever you feel like.
Yeah, so like yes, I like have a big problem with my father, but then also like my marriage, my husband, like he's like hard too because he's got depression and chronic pain and just a lot of negativity. And I had done this call with Kate Rose. Is that what Kate Rose? Yes. And she's like does relationship, she really focuses on relationships. And I booked it a few weeks ago and it happened today. And it was very intense just because it was based on astrology, but just that this was supposed to be a karmic relationship, and that when it comes down to it, that I'm pretty much supposed to end both of them, and that just seems terrifying to me. So it's just a lot. But then I talked to Ashley, and she definitely helped ground me and just put it into perspective to just kind of sit with it and just really look at it in a learning way. Like just I don't have to have everything resonate with me that was said, and it doesn't have to be all at once, but at the same time, it's still good to observe and to know, and for this to be brought to light even more, even though it's been brought to light other times, but this was definitely like a big thing that happened today and pretty emotional, pretty horrible. Like it's not something that I want to do by any means. It doesn't feel right. So it's a big thing that's happening in my life. Yeah.
Oh,
um yeah, but I feel like that's what's been it's been like these big themes like that, like karmic relationships, like relationships with parents, like spouse, like kids, our loved ones, like people that where it's not easy to just say, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna end this relationship. I'm just gonna X you out of my life," where because like the point of it, right? Of the growth, of the learning, of the healing. And it's, I feel like a lot of times too, like what's coming in is like with these karmic relationships, like it's kind of like with breaking cycles. It's not always to just end because you're meant to like end the relationship or not um take on the cycle at all, but a lot of times like the breaking of the cycle or the healing of the karmic relationship is like experiencing that toxicity, experiencing the cycle, like going into it and then finding your way to transmute it, finding a way to shift that energy there. And then, maybe the relationship at some point in time does end and or maybe it changes shape. But, I feel like sometimes the ending is more of the ending of a dynamic than the so that was just coming in to add for your situation of like maybe the ending that she was picking up on or seeing is an ending to a certain dynamic versus ending the relationships.
Yeah. That resonates with me quite a lot because um, I do think that there needs to be change that happens big time. And unfortunately, I do think that a lot of it has to be me being empowered to change some things. But I it just does not sit right with me to just think it needs to just end or that I need to end it. It just doesn't at all. And I'm not saying it never will, but at this point in time, it just does not feel like that's the thing. But I definitely think that makes sense about like observing it, seeing it, feeling the toxicity, and then changing it, changing that dynamic, changing, transmuting it, and learning a different way. And, yeah, just like also like these two people that the way they do things that they need to see the light in the higher vibration as much as I can show them, and that maybe things can change in that way too, like from how they're feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I feel like it's going to be really good for you and for anybody dealing with anything like this, because what I essentially I almost accidentally learned like just working with clients one-on-one was this um ability that we all have where we can actually communicate with people's higher selves, just like when we communicate with the souls of people after they're deceased. And how that shows up when you, especially when you take it into your day to day, like how it actually shows up in your relationship with them. Like I've seen the most miraculous things happen with my clients. Um, and where you can get some intuitive insights on by listening to their higher selves will, connect with their higher self and then, open it up for you to talk to them. And then also for you to listen to what their higher self has to say for you, which can unlock insights of like, one, where they're coming from, two, it might be something that their higher self sees that they need that you could do. That maybe their human self could not even like it, right? Like, because sometimes it's like not enabling or it's holding a boundary or hashing something out and their ego doesn't want to do it, but their higher self is like, no, this is what they need. This is the medicine, this is the healing. And so I wanted to guide you all through a practice tonight of where we'll go connect with your higher self to get a message from your own higher self and kind of do some integration work, because I feel like, as we're all ascending, as we're raising our vibration, we're also able to embody our higher selves more and more and, really bring that light fully into kind of like, Kate's poem, like bring that light fully into our world, which is how we're raising, the vibration too. And then we will kind of call up, you will, the higher self of a living person who you would like to talk to. And we'll bring them up, go through some healing with them, have a conversation, open it up to be able to receive a message from them too, and then send them back down into their body. And that's something that I always like to really emphasize when we do this work, of how important it is when you are connecting with someone's higher self to send them back into their body and to bring yourself back into your body. Because otherwise, we can feel really scattered or like almost like entangled energetically with them. So it helps, you know, you all seem like you kind of know. You're not newbies to this, but I always like to just give that reminder. And then I was feeling like also opening it up while we're up there to connect with, maybe a deceased loved one that wants to come in and, be able to receive messages from them, have a conversation with them. And then we'll do a third person if there's another living person or another, soul in the afterlife, kind of like a third like freebie or your choice of the buffet. So we'll do that, and then It's feeling like this really strong healing from Mary Magdalene wanting to come in. So I've been seeing uh this healing flame with her recently, her in the councils of light, where it's like golden flame on the inside and then a red flame around the edge. So that's how I see it in my mind's eye. Obviously you might see it differently. Maybe you see it like light, all of it's perfect. So we'll connect with her, kind of heal some of the psychic pollution stuff, some of the wounding, whatever's coming up to clear out, kind of reset, and then bring it back into your bodies, and we'll go about our evening. If that sounds good.
Sounds amazing.
Cool. All right. So to start, if you want to go ahead and just take your left hand on your heart and your right hand on your belly, and just start with some cleansing breaths, taking a big breath in. And then open your mouth, let it go. Taking another deep breath in. Holding your breath at the top and just gathering up any tension, any distractions, any fear, any worries. When you're ready, open your mouth, let it go. And the last one, deep breath in. Asking all of our angels and guides to come through and ensure that all messages, all healing, all soul conversations be in the highest and best good of all involved, and that they send through any and all messages that we need to know. Thank you. Amen. Open your mouth, let it go. And then just tuning into your heart. Really come into your heart and beginning to feel into and asking yourself, who in my life do I want to connect with on this level? Whose higher self is in my highest good to communicate with tonight? And then noticing just who comes to your heart, to your mind, bringing them into your awareness. And then who my loved ones in the afterlife, who has a message that I most need to hear tonight? Who wants to come through for me? And then just scanning your heart, your body, and allowing any other intentions for this session to come up. Any questions that you have, anything that you'd like closure on or healing with, or extra support with. Any relationship dynamics or patterns that you'd really like to clear or receive some insight around, just allowing this energy to rise up into your awareness. Maybe you feel it all from your heart. Maybe you feel something deeper, something rising up from your womb space or this pelvic bowl area. Allowing this energy to just come up, sending it into the light for all of it to be resolved or transmuted. As you feel ready, you can take your hands, palms face up to your lap or down by your sides. And Archangel Michael, he is our powerful warrior angel. He arrives before you, and as he steps forward, his aura is this bright golden indigo color. He has large golden wings, and he carries this sword of light. As he steps forward, he brings forward this golden divine light, wrapping you up in this bubble of divine light. Lifting you out of any heavy energy that's been around you, any energetic contamination or pollution from the collective or your space. And then Archangel Michael invites you to accompany him up to the seventh dimension, the divine healing realms. As you take his hand, he guides you up, all the way up through the night sky to this magnificent portal of light. As you enter in this portal of light, you feel the light rippling through you and around you, just clearing away any heavy frequencies, any old energy that no longer serves you, any kind of energetic blocks, any pain or discomfort, any psychic attacks. So letting it all go. And emerging from the portal of light into this seventh dimension healing realm. And Archangel Michael guides you up to this beautiful golden temple. And as you arrive at the golden temple, you see Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene standing at the doorway, ready to greet you. And they give you these big welcoming hugs. They're so grateful that you're here. Mother Mary says, I've been with you through this entire lifetime. I'm so proud of everything that you've accomplished already and the work that you're doing right now. You're on the right track. Just feel this like pure, unconditional love from them. And then as they guide you inside the golden temple, you come to this beautiful healing room with large quartz crystals in all of the corners, beautiful roses everywhere. Looks almost like a royal temple. This energy so abundant. There's this golden light streaming through the whole room, and you feel completely safe here. Almost familiar. Maybe you've been here before. And Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene guide you over to this wall where there's this beautiful ornate mirror. And as they guide you to look into the mirror, you notice that the reflection looking back at you is your higher self, this light body version of you, the eternal version of you from beyond your human expression. And just notice what this part of you looks like in your mind's eye, just whatever image comes to you. Maybe you're pure light. Maybe you look more like a star person. Maybe you're an angel. Maybe you're a mermaid. Just noticing how your higher self is expressing that essence. And as you feel yourself just locking eyes with them, you can feel your heart sinking with them. And then this higher self, it steps out of the mirror in front of you and they put their hand on your heart. And you feel this light circulating through their heart, back through your heart, spiraling down your bodies, all around and up over your bodies. And as you're brought into this like vortex with your higher self right now, just tell your higher self anything that's been on your heart, anything that you've been struggling with, anything that you felt shame around. Anything that you've been like frustrated with or that you've been wanting to call in, but it hasn't shown up yet. And as you share, you feel this energy releasing from your being, the burden, the pain, the stories around it, instantly transmuting in this light. And your higher self tells you this situation has been coming up for your growth, and now you are ready to complete an old phase of your life, an old pattern, and you're ready to activate a new pattern, to begin a new cycle, to plant this new seed in your life, in your expression. Just feel into what they're telling you, feel into what this frequency is stirring up within you. Maybe it's ideas, maybe it's an image, maybe it's a feeling or a knowing. Maybe you hear your higher self. And your higher self invites you to release anything blocking you from embodying your fullest divine potential, anything that has been holding you back, any old identities that you took on to protect yourself that you no longer need, just letting them go, letting them go, letting them go. Any excuses, any energy that you've been carrying around from other people, maybe their problems, their struggles, their limitations, uh, things that you've felt like you've needed to do for them or be for them, just letting it go. Any fear of your own power, any fear of your own divine gifts, your psychic gifts, your intuitive sensitivities, your leadership, your courage, your boldness. Just releasing the fear of your own greatness, any fear of success. It is your time. The world needs you in your full spectrum, your fullest expression, embodying this infinite light that is you. And as you feel ready, you start to feel the calling, you feel it so strongly within you. The readiness, the quickening. You can feel your higher self start to merge into your being, activating this divine essence in every cell of your being, your energy body, your mental body, your emotional body, your physical body, fully awakened to your own spirit. You feel this light transmuting any past judgment, transmuting fear, the fear of speaking your truth, the fear of saying the thing, even the fear of the ending, the fear of the making the wrong decision, just all elevated into 100% faith, to pure love, pure knowing, knowing that every relationship in your world right now was divinely guided, that every soul contract is sharing a purpose, that every struggle is bringing forth healing and growth. Feeling this trust. As you feel fully connected, fully integrated with your own higher self, you turn to face the doorway to this healing room. We call upon the higher self of the first person you're wanting to connect with, the living person, their higher self. And Archangel Michael brings their higher self into this space with you. Maybe for a moment, you're just reminded of their light. You're reminded of their potential, of their truest essence. And as they come forward, you take their hand and you just tell them what's on your heart. Tell them what you would like them to know. Let yourself just get it all out. And when you're ready, asking them, what do you want me to know? What is in the highest good for me to know about this relationship or about your human path this lifetime? Just allowing it to flow through, no over analyzing or forcing, just welcoming it in. And what dynamic between you two would you like to shift from here on out? Or maybe it's a new dynamic. Maybe you'd like more fun between you two. Maybe you'd like more intimacy or more adventure. Asking their higher self to help both of you on a human level elevate your relationship to this level, to incorporate these intentions or even potentials that are beyond what you know is possible, something even better. And then allowing these cords of toxicity, any toxic cords, any cords of fear, any cords of abuse, any cords of codependency, of addiction, of arguing, of control, allowing those to just burn away and activating cords of love, activating this coding of a healthy relationship, healthy communication, of healing, of evolution. Beautiful. Now, as you feel complete, giving them a big hug, thanking them for joining today, and asking Archangel Michael to now take their higher self back into their body and help them integrate this conversation, this wisdom, this healing, this higher self activation into their body, bringing them healing, bringing them peace, bringing them clarity, bringing them more love. And then Archangel Michael returns, bringing forth the soul of your loved one in the afterlife that you'd like to connect with. And as you feel them enter the room, you can feel their light, their vibrancy. It's like they're more alive now than they even were as a human, maybe. As they run over, they give you this big hug. They're so happy to see you. What do you want to tell them? What message do they have for you? Just receiving their message, receiving their love. So you feel complete, giving them a big hug, thanking them for coming through tonight. And then you kind of join your guides and Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene off to the side. And then Archangel Michael brings up the third soul or higher self that you're wanting to connect with, be from a person who's alive or who's in the afterlife. Just whoever comes to mind is perfect. As Archangel Michael brings them forward now, take their hand, tell them what's on your heart. What do you want them to know? What do you want to say that maybe you haven't been able to express? So you feel ready, asking them, what do you want me to know? What is in my highest and best good to know about you or our relationship? And if there's any healing, any toxic dynamics that are ready to burn off, any toxic cords, just allowing the light to just burn and sever these old patterns, and then activating a healed dynamic, activating more love, activating a deeper connection, maybe, or maybe you're activating closure, this person, the ability to live different lives, maybe activating boundaries, activating clear communication. Balancing the energy, clearing away any imbalance, like over giving, letting it go, equalizing the energy. And as you feel complete, if they're the higher self from someone still living, we ask the Archangel Michael now take their energy all the way back down into their body, bringing this healing, bringing this revelation, this insight, all the way with them, activating codes of healing, activating the wisdom of this meeting within their mind and body and spirit. And Mary Magdalene comes over to you and she invites you to walk with her and guides you to stand on this flower of life pattern that's kind of etched in the flooring. And as you stand in the center, you feel the flower of life activate to your touch, activating this vortex of healing light. And Mary Magdalene takes her hands out, palms facing you, and begins to emit this red and golden flame, gold in the center, red around the outsides. And this flame starting at your feet, she guides it up your body, this flame burning away any patterns of people pleasing, patterns of holding back, patterns of over giving, any old beliefs of I have to be this way in order to be loved, in order to be lovable, in order to have my needs met, I need to sacrifice myself. Any old martyrdom, any witch wounds, bringing this light up around your pelvis, burning away any old wounds of persecution, of exile, of being betrayed or turned in, like old karma from being turned in from somebody that you're in relationship with, or being kicked out of a group for expressing your power or your gifts, being who you are, letting that go, moving this flame up around your solar plexus, releasing any fears of your own power, any old stories of like, if I take responsibility, I have to take care of everyone else, or it's going to be too hard. Letting those go. activating your ability to be receptive and giving in a harmonious way, balancing out your masculine, feminine energies. It's like coming all the way up to your heart, just purifying any heartache, any grief, releasing it, opening your heart to receiving more love, to expressing more love, allowing yourself to feel the longing, the yearning of your heart, releasing any shame around how much you love, around wanting, craving, desiring something. So allowing this flame to just burn it all away, purifying that energy, turning it into more light. That flame coming up around your throat, just burning away any resistance to speaking your truth, purifying all the words that have gone unsaid, anything that you've choked down, that you've swallowed, that you've held back on, just releasing it into this flame, opening up your voice, your creativity, the power of your voice to speak your dreams into existence. This flame going up around your face, around your ears, burning away any verbal abuse, any self-criticism, any cynicism, negativity, complaining, opening up your ear chakra so that you may hear the voice of the divine. And this like burning away anything blocking your third eye from seeing the divine, from seeing the bigger picture, from seeing your path, from seeing your purpose, from seeing your guides, your angels, your loved ones, the signs. Just releasing confusion, releasing any blocks around your vision to this light. And then this flame going up to your crown chakra, purifying your channel. It reaches from your crown chakra all the way up to the divine realms, purifying this intuitive channel, clearing away any psychic debris, any energetic contamination from the collective, any fear, any lower frequencies, opening up your channel so that you may receive clear, accurate, consistent guidance and divine support. And this way, moving back down your body, purifying your entire energy field, raising your vibration, bringing you into alignment with pure Christ consciousness, with the divine, with source, with the light. Purifying anybody else's energy that you may have picked up, just allowing this flame to clear it out. Feeling your aura expand, taking up the entire room with your light. There, Mary Magdalene, just filling your aura with this, now bringing in this rose quartz pink light, activating a frequency of pure divine love, building up your aura so that you attract in loving experiences and interactions and filter out any negativity, any heaviness, any harmful energy, protecting you from anyone with impure motives. It is safe to be fully and completely seen in your light, to be your authentic self. It is safe to speak your truth. It is safe to say no, and it is safe to say yes. Just aligning you the path that is in your highest and best good, clearing away anything that's been blocking your way, activating your destiny. So it is. As you feel complete, restored. For Mary Magdalene walk you back down the hallway. Archangel Michael greets you and you go with him all the way back through this portal of light, now feeling at one with the light, and then emerging into our Earth's atmosphere and down through the night sky, maybe sprinkling down some light, healing Mother Earth, sending some light to kind of take down this storm, taking it down, seeing it calm and slow. Fizzle out, sending this light to protect anybody in the path of this storm, to protect all of the souls in need, healing Mother Earth, healing humanity, and then coming all the way back into your body. Breathe yourself in. Exhale, fill yourself up all the way down to the tips of your fingers and tips of your toes. One more, breathe yourself in. And then exhale, expand your energy field, this bubble of light. Maybe you keep it rose quartz pink. Maybe yours is more golden or white or violet. So letting yourself take up space and then opening your eyes and coming back. Oh, that was a lot. So I was like seeing a little bit for each of you, but like I see it like in flashes on my end. So, but you all moved a lot of energy. I don't know if you felt it, but I felt like you just shifted a lot. So that was really cool. I always like to kind of end with a card reading because I find that it can kind of validate things that came through. But while I'm shuffling, does anybody have any questions or anything that you want to share that came up for you? Okay. Or did anybody not get anything and you want some guidance around that? Thanks, Dawn. Good.
I guess I have a little question. So if we feel like we got some messages from our higher self or like the people that we drew in, like obviously we're not well, this is recording, but we're not recording our thoughts. So like, are we supposed to try to write it down, or is it just our higher self should just know, like after?
I always recommend, like, if you have the time to just journal for a few minutes after this, like, I feel like that would be really helpful to just write it down. And then you might find if you can give yourself like a little bit of time to journal more, um, sometimes it continues, like, because it's like you're processing it as you're writing it down, and then sometimes you'll continue to get hits and downloads coming in as you journal. So yeah, that's a good question. um and then, too, I feel like sometimes it's like maybe you got a couple seeds planted. So especially if you didn't get like tons of information, but you're like, it felt cool, but like I felt like it was good, but I don't really know. You can continue to ask. So you can say, like, maybe before you go to bed, like, help me have a dream that brings me more understanding around this, or help me to get a clearer message in my dreams, or in a meditation tomorrow, maybe help me, give me a clearer message on this thing. Um, that I feel like I only got a little bit of. And so sometimes it can kind of unfold over a few days, or you can even re-practice. Like you could take this practice if you're used to visualizing and meditating, like you can take it into, your own and modify it however you prefer, and take it into your own practice to start to get more. Um, it also, like, this is one of my favorite practices for any time like I'm arguing with somebody in my family, or there's something like coming on, or I'm feeling super triggered about something, or someone else is triggered by something. Like I'll in my meditation, like I'll connect with their higher self to have a healing conversation to kind of shift the energy of it before we're going to talk about it face to face. So it's kind of like, you know, it's it feels very woo woo because it's like, oh yeah, I'm talking to their higher self, but then they're being, a jerk or here in real life, or whatnot. But it shifts the energy. So that's like essentially the point, is we're having this soul connection to help shift the energy, because it does go into their subconscious. So they might not know on a conscious level, but they're going to feel a shift. They might not have the vocabulary, depending on how aware they are of energetics. They might not have the vocabulary to articulate it, but they will feel a shift. You can also like use this to connect with people. One of my clients in our last class, she did this with she connected to the higher self of somebody running this big event that she really wanted to work with, but she couldn't afford his program. And he ended up picking her for a scholarship opportunity. And so that was really cool. She was like, she just told his higher self, like, if it's in my highest and best good, I would really love to work with you. Please, notice me here. Like, I was like, that's so funny. Like, but then she messaged us. She was like, no, like he picked me out of the crowd for this scholarship opportunity. So you could also use it for that. But it definitely opens up the healing, like especially in our close relationships where, you know, I feel like our soul families, they're always our biggest teachers. We have all the stuff come up, with them, or the karmic relationships. It's like, so when all the triggers are coming up and it's so hard, right? Like to sit and be like conscious and mindful, right? Like we can come here and we can be with each other and be all like loving and compassionate and everything. It's another whole thing when like this person is pushing your buttons and they know where like the biggest buttons are, right? So this is like a good practice to help shift the energy so that then you can go into the human level conversation a little more mindfully, and you'll notice like usually it will show up as like they aren't as defensive, or they are maybe open to your perspective, where before they were just like, I don't want to hear it, you don't get it. And so it can really just kind of shift the energetic dynamics. And then you can really focus on like consciously activating, just like we cut cords, right? Like consciously activating the dynamics or the cords that you want to have in that relationship. So like boundaries honored, clear communication, mutual respect, or more fun, more intimacy, like, right? Like we can use it in good ways too, to make a relationship maybe a little better, like get that spark back, right? So, and then another thing that's fun if you're really having like ongoing, like really intense relationship stuff come up, is you can incorporate into that visioning their inner child self too. And you can talk to their inner child and their higher self, and you can kind of rope that together, and that can bring a lot of healing. Because usually when people are triggered, it's their inner child that's freaking out. And so that can like kind of soothe. A lot of times that will help soothe their temper, soothe the wounding. And then the higher self conversation helps open up their energy to a solution. So it just kind of prepares them to maybe be in a different energy for the conversation. Or and it can be really helpful. So I first had my first astral travel soul conversation experience when I was 19, and there was somebody who I needed closure with, or I felt like I needed closure with them. Um, and it wasn't physically safe to see them. And so I just like I felt so stuck on it. I said a prayer to Archangel Michael. I was like, help me get closure with this person. I know I can't see them. I know I can't talk to them. I really want to move on, but there's like something, I need to know some information before I can let go. And I have things I want to say to them. And I had this, what felt like a dream, where I was in this person's room speaking to them. We had this huge conversation. And then I came back, and I just thought it was a dream. I was 19, totally new to all this stuff. And until our mutual friend called me and he was like, hey, I just talked to so and so and he had this crazy dream about you. And the conversation was word for word. And I was like, what? Oh my God. So it freaked out by it. But so it brought us both healing. And, we were able to go on our separate paths. So, and use it for things like that too. Like it's just one of those practices that you can kind of tailor to whatever it is that you're needing. So that's why it's one of my favorites to share, teach people. So yeah, thanks. Okay, these are cool cards. So these are from the Starseed Oracle from Rebecca Campbell. The first one is Deep Cellular Healing. Arcturus energy, physical and emotional healing. And then We the Hathers, deep love, mother's milk, birth as a portal. Beautiful goddess energy. And then the Cosmic Heart, devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. Beautiful too. That's all I got. Like I said, you moved a lot of energy through. So whether you feel it really strongly or not, I would definitely drink a lot of water. Maybe have like a little grounding snack. Um, journal and just kind of be mindful that you're probably going to continue to get information around these relationships, or you might see some shifts and it might bring about an opportunity to have a conversation with these people or your loved one from the other side. Like you made that connection, so they might kind of be extra strong the next couple days. So yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
That was
Yeah.
so good.
Thanks. I'm excited to see whoever's going to the retreat too. So
Oh, me too.
can't wait.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any last words from your heart? Yeah, it's interesting in my life right now, usually like I'm pretty good with my husband. I'm all my relationships are, but I got this funny, and I'm sharing this because I know you all so well. I got this funny DM and I'm saying this because it was so cool what you just did on Instagram from this girl from high school, what, 40 years ago, that said, I always felt like you didn't like it was like this weird, and I'm like, 40 years ago, she said it's plaguing me for this many years. And I'm like, what? So with what we've learned and grown for the last, since high school, hopefully, we know that that's her perspective. And it had to send the message to, but it's like I'm like, gosh, I only was kind. I don't ever remember like that I was like, maybe that was a different timeline in my life that I had this, like I was a mean girl or something. It was just so random. And so then I got an email right before this call from her again on my website. And I was like, it was so weird. So I'm thinking, what is that telling me? Like, what am I learning? I haven't had, I mean, I've never, if I thought I was a mean girl in school, I would be like, oh yeah, I remember being a bully. But it was just so funny having this girl bring this up twice in the last 5 days. So when you were saying to me when we were doing the thing, and I was talking to her, I mean, it was just like, oh, good, I get to do this for this. Like normally I'm thinking, who would I ask? But it was just it's been in my life the last 5 days, and I'm like, it's so like anyway, so that was a cool way of clearing that. And when you say, maybe it connected to her, I mean, hopefully we connected and cleared those chords. But isn't that funny? Like, it just never, you don't know what people, I guess, hold on to
Mhm.
for 40 years.
Yeah. And
So thank
different
you.
perspectives. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I know somebody thought I was so mean, but it was more because I was shy. Like, and I just
Yeah,
quiet.
right. I'm like, what? I had
Around.
to,
I'm like, no, I never felt any particular way towards you.
yeah, but it was funny. That came up 2 times in the last few days. And I'm like, this is like, what am I learning? What am I being shown? Like, why am that's never come up in my life. So that kind of cleared, that was fun. But
Yeah.
thank you. I'm
I
excited
feel
for
like there's
you.
been some collective like sisterhood wounds. So maybe it's that too.
Oh, okay.
I've been seeing it with like a lot, like especially like witch wounds of like old, like being betrayed, being ratted out, like, or feeling like can't trust other women. So it could be a little bit of that from the collective kind of purging through your life,
Okay. That,
on
yeah,
that
no, that makes
scale.
sense.
But I feel like
Yeah,
all of us who are doing this work, like we're healing our own stuff, but we're also running the energy through from the collective, helping to purge, the collective as we all raise the vibration. So I feel like
right.
sometimes stuff comes up that's like it doesn't really resonate, like right, like might come up randomly in your life where you're just like, what is this about? And it's the collective kind of working its way through
Got it.
you. So could be a
Yeah.
little bit of that too.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. You have a ballet class, Dawn? How fun.
I take adult ballet through the Santa Monica College Extension, adult extension. It's on Monday.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love it.
How
Yeah.
I
fun.
can't wait to see you in a couple weeks at the
Yes, I'll
retreat.
see if you, hopefully a lot of you at the retreat in a few weeks.
Yes.
Okay, I'll talk to you
But in the
later.
meantime, you're going to be in London. Tell them really quick what you're doing.
Oh, so well, I'm an EFT tapping practitioner and I'm learning a new technique that's called matrix re-imprinting. It's an offshoot of EFT tapping and it has to do with holding like, when you have like a trauma or you split with someone. So they call that like an echo and that's held in the matrix energy field. So it's a technique to help clear that. So it's a offshoot, a more advanced technique of EFT tapping. And then I'm going to be visiting the College of Psychic Studies in London and taking a class there as well. So it's a learning vacation.
I love
So
it.
I'm going to Stratford upon Avon in London. I leave a week from Friday, then I come back on the 27th. And I think the next Sunday is the retreat. So
Fun. I love
yeah.
it. I love how it all worked out. I couldn't.
Yes, I'm excited.
Yes, so fun.
All right.
Thank you,
Bye.
Sarah.
Thank you again,
Thank you,
Sarah. Thank you,
everybody.
So
Ashley.
much.
Thank
See you
you.
all.
Have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
evening. Wonderful
Thank
week.
you.
All right.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody. Good
Thank you
night.
so much. Good
Thank you,
night.
Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.
I just had to say it was really cathartic. Thank you.
Oh, I love that.
Thank you. I really, really, really needed that. Thank you.
I felt a
Thank
lot
you
of
so
healing
much.
going around you near the end for your situation and
Yeah,
it felt
yeah,
like
a
it
lot.
clarified all of that. So
So thank you so much. You can't even see me anymore. It's so dark.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm in the car.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
Good. So glad it helped.
and you get
And
to meet
Wendy,
Mish in
sending
November.
Wendy love.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. I'm sending you love too. And yes,
Thank you.
also thank you, Sarah. Like it was beautiful and it was definitely
Yeah.
needed for me today. And it just, yeah, it was a beautiful session. And sometimes I can never like ground myself enough to like really meditate. And I really feel like I was
Exactly.
able to. So beautiful.
Good.
I
Good.
agree.
Good. Yay.
Thank you both.
I'm glad you liked it.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.